He is the president of every single American.
He's not my president. He's not the president of a lot of people.
My expectation number one is that he's going to be on Twitter all the time, because that seems to be his propaganda tool.
Freedom of the press, freedom of speech are going to be destroyed.
I don't want him to be a failure. I want him to really, really succeed. I want him to do great things.
The Haarse House in Berlin's Kreuzberg district is a meeting place for American expats. Almost 17,000 Americans live in the German capital, but it's hard to find many Trump supporters here. Why is that?
Living in Berlin, you have to be a little bit adventurous and open, and I think most Trump supporters are really closed-minded, uneducated.
I think expats tend to be very liberal people who also openly take issues with things in their own country, and that's why they leave it.
You see a lot of Americans here that come from big cities like New York, Los Angeles, Chicago, and those are the places that obviously always are leaning democratically.
Gillian May founded the Haarse House with two business partners. Along with the lunchroom, there's an old-fashioned general store offering a mix of products. Response to the U.S. election results has been mixed among Americans in Berlin.
It's not that anyone's planning a huge revolution, but people are definitely aware, and they're cautiously observing what's happening and trying to figure out how to move on.
May says that Donald Trump's election doesn't affect her directly, but that it will have repercussions for U.S. cultural institutions.
It's going to be hard for these institutions to consistently get funding, the funding that they need. I think that the arts and culture are something that Trump is not so concerned about.
And wouldn't that be something if the president actually is somebody who secretly loves the arts, secretly loves the theater and music? I mean, he lives just down the street from Broadway.
Alexander Frei is an organist, pianist, and conductor who's worked with orchestras around the globe. Born in Chicago, he supports the Democrats and knows what he wants from the new president.
Universal health care for everyone, like Canada has perhaps. A great defense for the country, strong defense, protecting us against terrorism and protecting American interests throughout the world. A sound economic and trade policy so that everybody in the United States has a job and has a good living, and that the quality of life for every American is raised.
They have not reached out to people like us, like me. They haven't reached out to anyone who would fall under any of the categories of what I would fall under, to make us feel better, to say that we're not going to be excluded, that we're not going to end up in internment camps, or we're not going to lose our livelihoods.
Diana Aarse is an American artist and activist who lives in Berlin. One of her projects is that's like karaoke, in which the audience re-speaks speeches from politicians. She wants to sensitize people to their rhetoric and fears the worst for her country.
I'm safe here, but I know people who are in the United States who don't agree with this, who are afraid to say something because they know that they will make themselves a target. And this is the kind of environment that's being set up right now. And if he continues being our president, it's only going to escalate. It's only going to get worse.
Eugene Haste is a writer and literature professor at New York University who currently lives in Berlin. Born in Russia, he moved to the U.S. as a child. He sees many parallels between Donald Trump and Vladimir Putin.
When there's some kind of a fight with a celebrity, right, the point of that fight is so that everybody writes about it so that they don't write about something else, okay? And I think much about Trump's focusing on celebrity critics or on politician critics, I think it's done to hide other things. If you want to fight Trump, you need to develop a political language for fighting Trump. You need to develop the proper way to humiliate him, the proper way to slur against him.
My big hope for President Trump is that he can somehow make people feel secure in their everyday lives.
I think a lot of what we've accomplished in the last 40, 50 years in terms of women's rights, civil rights, it's going to go back a couple of steps.